Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of The Movie Manual, part of the BBYK podcast. My name is Viet, joined by Bryan. This is episode 2.5.
Yes.
Right. So that's how we do it. The review episodes, we go with the half. You know.
Yeah.
Our numbering system a little bit different. It's unique to this show. We go 1 to 7 for our movie reviews.
You being from the Asian continent and me being from not America originally, we're metric. We're just metric system guys. So it's all about the conversion. So it works out. We understand what we're doing. It's on a 10 scale. 10. But all right. 7 is our. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
I mean, just it's not important. It's not important. It makes sense to us. So hopefully it makes sense to you. We should have like a translation, like some kind of way for it to like translate back. Anyway.
Can we subtitle it also while we're doing translations into like Spanish?
Yes.
Let's do subtitles.
Yeah. We need to do that. No hablo español.
Neither do I.
Really? Like
so
pequeño?
So yeah, I always tell people like my grandma speaks as little English as I do Spanish, but we used to communicate perfectly because I could speak English to her and she could speak Spanish to me. So I understand about 80% of it, and I get the idea. This was very handy because I spent a lot of time working in restaurants.
Right.
So like if you could like sweet talk the cooks, like maybe they'd like help you get something out a little faster if you were like. But also I could tell if they were talking, trash about me.
Right.
Which was helpful.
You got that the Spanglish going on, like the Adam Sandler hit movie.
Another potential movie.
Early 2000s.
Spanglish.
Was that a rom-com though? It seemed that was like just like a drum.
Downer.
Yeah, a drum.
I never saw it.
Him, T. Leone, Penelope Cruz? Was that?
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember it being a good movie. I remember like Adam Sandler for a time was like, oh yeah, I could be a dramatic actor. He did that, Punch Drunk Love.
Which one was the one with Don Cheadle? Remember his wife and family died in the 9/11 attacks. Oh yeah. And he kind of went crazy. All I remember is he and Don Cheadle. But no, same period where he was kind of being serious. Right.
And that was another.
Comedians do that. They all do that because Will Ferrell did that a little bit. Jim Carrey, definitely. Truman Show did that.
Sure,
like they all kind of like test. They get tired of being.
They want to show. They want to
really
show their acting
like
chops.
Rich and like successful, so they want to kind of like challenge. I think it's that quest for the challenge, like which we all have. I think we all kind of want to challenge ourselves in different ways. So we're always pushing those limits. They're humans.
Be on a lookout for Kevin Hart's MLK biopic coming out next summer. It's about time. It's about time, Kevin Hart. It's time to get serious.
He's gonna. Yeah, he's got to.
At some point, yeah. And when he's good, we're all gonna be like, what?
Would it surprise you if he's good though?
No,
it wouldn't surprise me.
It's a little annoying. It's annoying. He's
got the everything package. I'm just glad he's short. I think that's like that's like the saving grace, because there's like these guys like Troy Aikman is one of these guys who was like really tall, really good looking, really athletic, went to like greatest colleges, was the #1 draft pick, won 3 Super Bowls, like retired, and then just decided to be like the best broadcaster.
Yeah,
it's like, well, do you fail? Like, are you from this planet? So there are people that get the everything package. Yeah. That's compliments of my friend Barry McCain. He talks about people that have the everything package.
Yeah, I bet his podcast sucks, though.
Troy Aikman's, not Barry's. I'm sure Barry crushes it if he had a podcast. It would be based on like Jeopardy. He's very. You better watch this thing, Barry. If you're like, or somebody better tell you to watch this.
Yeah. Also, sad news about Trebek. This is going all over the place.
It is. All right, let's get on task. We are here to reveal the movie of the month. So it was between You've Got Mail and
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Closest ever. It was the closest ever. Katie DeFusco, your vote is what tipped the balance. So like strategic voting, if you were doing that, you were watching it going back and forth. You got it in, I think, with like an hour to go before the last vote at 10 p.m. And you decided it. So the winner was You've Got Mail.
You've Got Mail.
Nice.
That was so close. It was like down to the wire. I think it sat at 50%.
Yeah, it was one vote, which was really incredible. It was good to see the turnout, and like, I don't know, I was a little downer about it. I voted for the other. I wanted to see How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, but it makes you for the next reveal or the next vote that we have. it will stick around because we're doing Survivor style.
Yeah, so it'll be the incumbent. So How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days will stay on, like you said, Survivor style. Now, the thing about it is you only get to survive 1 week.
Yeah,
so
two strikes and you're out.
Yeah, so if... Yeah, another weird thing about...
math. We don't do math. We're the Ralph Wiggum of mathing.
Yeah, so if you lose twice, you're out of there. So this week, if You've Got Mail would have lost, then it would have just been out.
Gone,
we would have had 2 fresh movies on the slate for next month. But fortunately, You've Got Mail was triumphant. Now, here's a little backstory. We were out and we were talking about how we were going to come up with what movie we were going to do for next month, and I was talking about this article I saw in an in-flight magazine because I was that bored and I couldn't sleep. So I was reading this article, and it was pretty cool because it was on point. We're doing rom-coms, and they were saying that rom-coms are having sort of a renaissance, and that they used to be huge. They were considered blockbuster vehicles in the 90s and early 2000s, and then I said, really, or at least the thesis of this article was that Matthew McConaughey kind of killed that trend. And Bryan said,
"Oh no!
Because this is a family-friendly podcast.
We were drinking. We were watching some MMA. I had a lot of high tea.
Not to poop on your theory, but How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days was incredible. So I went back and I looked at it because I was like, all right. So he remembers that, and you guys saw the last episode. You remember his recollection of Clueless. I'm like, I'm not gonna fight with my man's recollection here. His memory has proven to be pretty solid.
Steel trap.
So I went back just to look through his IMDb page and just how his movies his rom-coms were rated during that time, and whether or not they really were trending downwards.
Okay.
So it started off with Wedding Planner, rotten score. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Wait, Wedding Planner was J-Lo, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Rotten score. Let's see here. Failure to Launch. Rotten score.
Oh, Failure to Launch was also good. That was Sarah Jessica Parker.
Fool's Gold. Rotten.
Who is that?
And then Ghost of Girlfriend's Past.
You brought that one up specifically. Yeah. Did it reference it in the article?
That was the one that they said definitely was the nail in the coffin. And all of those movies, now, to your credit, the one movie that was actually profitable was How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. But all of them were critically panned, and some of them were actually money losers. Some of these are some of the worst rated movies in Metacritic history. If you want to go for a wild ride, go check out Matthew McConaughey's IMDb.
Season 2 Matthew McConaughey movies.
Just up and down. This a roller coaster ride of a career.
I can see Lincoln Lawyer. What does it give that? I like that a lot.
Lincoln Lawyer was high, 84%.
All right.
But he also was the star and produced Surfer Dude, 0%. It's like one of the lowest rated movies of all time.
I've never heard of it.
But, he has a lot of winners in here. Mud, Wolf on Wall Street, which is kind of weird to say he starred in because, he was in an iconic scene.
Yeah, it had that, that was...
It was his version of Alec Baldwin's Coffees for Closers. Everyone remembers that scene, but that was really Alec Baldwin's only scene in that movie.
Yeah.
So everyone remembers the but really that was Matthew McConaughey's only scene in the movie.
Same with Ben Affleck in the Giovanni Ribisi movie, Boiler Room. Did you ever see Boiler Room?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, if you do, go watch. If you don't, go watch the Ben Affleck. He's not in that movie at all, but he's a big wig at this they call it a chop shop. Basically, they're selling bad stocks to people. They inflate them, sell out from under it. I don't really know how it works. I'm really bad at math. But he has this moment where he's basically given his Alec Baldwin speech. And I think if you watch financial movies, that's a trope in it, right? Because there was also because in Boiler Room, they're actually watching the Michael Douglas movie.
Oh, Greed is Good?
Yeah, where he's given his
version
of that speech, and they're all quoting it too. So you got to get your salespeople hyped, is what I learned.
You do. Copies for clothes. Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. You know what? That could be a future season. Just financial movies. Wolf on Wall Street. What was that one like? What was the Michael Douglas movie called?
Greed? Was it just called?
No. That's a little bit too on the nose.
Yeah.
I think.
I can look it up. You have the internet. Speaking of which, the internet.
Oh, that's right. Today,
Wednesday. even though this is coming out Friday.
Yeah, this will be coming out Friday.
It's
actually Tuesday.
Tuesday is the birthday of the internet.
Yeah, March the 12th. Invented by Al Gore. Correct?
Google, that checks out. Yes.
Yeah. So, let's get into the movie that actually won. And what we like to do is, what do we remember about the movie? Brian, what do you remember about this movie?
Everything I remember about this movie was from content that was cut out of our last episode when Viet told this epic story. I know Greg Kinnear's in it, but only because Viet said Greg Kinnear was in it. But it's basically like a big conglomerate comes in and squeezes out the little man, right? Like it's a bookstore, local bookstore.
Right.
And a big, not Starbucks, a big, what's the, Barnes & Noble type.
It looks like Barnes & Noble. I think it's called Fox.
Yeah, and comes in and basically Walmart's everybody. Like they just come in, they elbow these mom and pop shops out. And is she in marketing, or is he's the owner of the small shop?
No, so I
don't remember this at all.
I did a little research on the movie. I've not watched it. I did a little bit because I saw a video and I knew it was on the docket to be voted on last month. Right. And so just anticipating that it got stomped last month, so there was like no chance. So I thought I'd do like this funny intro, and I saw a video. So I did read up a little bit about it. Tom Hanks, I think his dad owns the big company, and so he's like going to inherit it. And he's kind of like the charming dude that kind of goes in and sort of convinces people to sort of, give up without too much of a fight. But also, unbeknownst to him, sort of develops a pen pal style relationship with someone that...
An email relationship, electronic mail.
Now,
electronic pen pals?
Yeah, electronic pen pals. They kind of write back and forth. Now, here's the crazy thing. Meg Ryan actually didn't have a computer before that movie. And they actually gave her a computer so she can, like, practice using it because, like, the movie was about building a relationship through the use of computers.
Was that 1998?
It was 1998.
Wow.
That's not too long ago.
I think it's 8th grade, yeah. I think 6th grade, the neighbor across the street had a computer. He had Snake. That was what a computer was to me.
When did you have a computer? Like, when do you remember having
my own, probably 11th grade. There's a family computer in, like, 10th grade, I think. Yeah. My own in 11th grade. So, right around then, 1990... No, I guess that was 2000, 2001. Yeah. So, I had grown up in computer classes, for sure. I remember as early as, like, 1st and 2nd grade, we would go down to the computer lab, where it's just a room full of, like, Lucy's or Mac. What was the name of the Mac? The famous Mac?
Oh, I don't.
Lisa.
Remember. Lisa?
I think it was the Lisa. Go watch Jobs, another great movie. Rom-Coms.
Rom-Com, sure.
The Lisa, but yeah, that's kind of where everybody learned to play Oregon Trail, right? I mean, that's like the quintessential like callback to childhood.
Right.
So yeah, they've been a part of our lives mostly since we've been of a little bit of reason. The age of reason, like we've kind of. What is the age of reason? Maybe I used that wrong. Is that adulthood, or is that like?
Sure, yeah, they usually like 18.
Okay. So well before the age of reason, I was, messing around with computers and sort of comfortable with them.
Right. Yeah, I remember like my dad kind of surprised us all and got like a Hewlett Packard, which like was probably like the cheapest computer or whatever like you could get, but it was for us it was like, oh my gosh, that thing was incredible. And I do remember the modem sounds and the 10-minute process that it took to get onto the internet. And it's kind of funny because I remember at that time when that movie came out, and surely through, at least from my high school and even into college, AOL was kind of like a big thing because it was one of the first programs that utilized instant messenger and kind of tapped into that market as like people want to like communicate like this, and they tapped into that market. And it was kind of like the precursor to like text messages, and then from there, we have like Twitter, where it's just we kind of throw out like text message style things into like this massive. It's almost like Twitter's almost like kind of yelling into a giant room with a bunch of strangers.
For us, not with us with 5,000 followers. Right. Like you at least have people walking by. You're like, well, you're doing it into a street in a small town at least, so there's people walking by.
Unless you're like a celebrity, you have like a conduit, and it's you're kind of connecting more. And not to say that you can't actually make connections on Twitter. It feels like a lot of times it's just a bunch of people.
If you do, it's also in a small... The only place I've done it has been revolving around a particular thing. So there's not people that follow you because you're you, unless you're a celebrity. But there are people that I've picked up because I've, in this season, started watching more basketball games because the Mavericks have gotten good. But I've started following people, and they've started following me because we kind of all basically watch the game. So it's what you're saying, though, is like, that's the common thing that's bringing us together. So it's basically like, still like texting with friends. It's just other people can kind of read them. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, to me... And we're about to, I think since both of us didn't watch it, we thought it'd be cool to watch the trailer, kind of give you guys a quick reaction on that. But just to kind of, before we do that, I just thought, just thinking about this, the title You've Got Mail, the fact that the lead actress had to have a computer purchased for her, she had used one before, and just the sort of ephemeral nature, I think, of technology in general, and how at the time You've Got Mail was so big. Like, anyone that like saw that would know immediately what that meant. And it could be at the point where I mean, I don't know, like, would your kids associate the term You've Got Mail with AOL, like this old company that...
No. Somebody, this came up, it wasn't one of my kids, but like, there was a movie called Hanging Up, and we still hang up the phone. Maybe this is a conversation you and I had, actually.
I don't remember this.
Kids don't know, like, what does hanging up actually mean? Like, there is no attachment to, like, that activity anymore. Like, we call it hanging up, but it's just like pushing a button.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So, like, there is 0% chance.
Yeah,
like,
because, like, physically you used to...
hang up the phone on the receiver.
Yeah, any saying that seems, like, out of place, it was, like, it used to be, like, there
was a reason
people
for it.
weren't clever. They weren't trying to, like, make up, like, code or something. It was just, like, literally what it was. But, yes, I just think that that's strange, and I feel like you're going to feel like that with some of these... movies that kind of do the whole social media, or at least the current social media thing. A good example of this is, I don't know if you've seen the movie Searching, but I think it's brilliantly done. I watched it with my wife. She didn't like it that much. It stars John Cho, and his daughter goes missing, and the entire thing is filmed like from the perspective of a webcam. So like, if he's using the laptop to look up information on where like she might have gone last, then it's kind of like filming from the webcam. If he's using a smartphone to like look up, you know, like what her friends were and who she was in contact. So like the entire movie is filmed from that perspective. I thought it was like pretty unique. But something like that would anything that's like highlights technology I think will be the first to feel really dated really fast.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think will be, we haven't watched it yet, but I'm sure will come up very soon.
Yeah, I mean, it has changed all kinds of behaviors, right? There used to be this boogeyman online, like you would get in there. I guess you would go to kind of chat rooms originally,
right? Yeah.
And you always used a moniker. You never, or an alias. You never used your real name because they were just predators waiting around the corner, and that was almost a part of like getting on the internet. Was this like this talk that your parents had with you to kind of tell you the dangers, like, hey, like, you don't set up meetings because you don't know these people, like you know them as a name here and words on a screen, but you don't know who they are,
right? And
to see that kind of come full circle, and to see the way, you know, we act on the internet and how comfortable even our parents are on the internet now,
right?
With information and the way things go, it's and I don't know, technology it's funny how even within like short time frames, in this case 20 years, 25 years, like the way you feel about it and the way your behavior has changed is come kind of full circle.
Right. And I think it starts happening a lot more rapidly. Like Facebook went from like cutting edge to something that like the grandparents used. Like it felt really quick. And like Twitter, there was a time when like you would see like people were using Twitter, and like even that got like dated really quickly. And then like, you know,
there's always the next thing.
Instagram was like started rising in popularity, and there's always the next thing. And it's really crazy how we all participate in it, and it's pretty crazy. So we'll see if there's the Twitter, the movie, like You've Got Mail. Anyways,
this is great. That's awesome, man. I'm excited. I want to see this trailer. I think it's gonna be good. It's really good actors in it, so probably, you know, they were at their peak at this point.
Yeah, Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan, and those two were like a rom-com machine.
Yeah. Too. What else they do? Sleep in Seattle.
I say that's the only other one I could, but I feel like they've been in something else, but pretty iconic.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I turn on my computer, I go online,
Welcome.
and my breath catches in my chest until I hear 3 little words. You got mail. What is going on with you? Is it infidelity if you're involved with someone on email?
This woman is the most adorable creature I've ever been in contact with.
Have you had sex?
Of course not. I don't even know her.
I mean cyber sex. No?
Well, you know what? Don't do it. Because the minute you do, they lose all respect for you.
In a city where everyone's looking for someone, Joe and Kathleen have discovered the best way to meet someone
Hi.
is to never meet at all.
We just email. It's really nothing. I don't know his name or what he does. Or where he lives exactly. What? He couldn't possibly be the rooftop killer.
What they don't realize
What is that? What are you doing? You're taking all the caviar? That caviar is a garnish.
is they already have.
Joe Fox. I'm in the book business.
I am in the book business. What should I have said to a man who has made my professional life a misery?
Tell me something. Really, how do you sleep at night?
Nick Rich here.
Fight to the death.
In life, they're at odds.
She's beautiful, but she's a pill.
Online, they're in love.
Do you think we should meet?
Meat.
I wonder what subtle sexism will come out in this
Oh my
movie.
God.
I'm gonna say hello, I'm gonna have a cup of coffee, and then I'm gonna split. That's what I'm gonna do. Why am I even doing this? Why am I compelled to even meet her?
Relax. Take it to the next level.
All right.
I'm not gonna stay that long anyway. I already said that, didn't I? Yes, you did. No.
I mean, he could be the next person to walk into the store. He could be...
May I please come up?
The dress.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so it's like the same team that brought the team.
I have a terrible
It's like
cold.
Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper and whoever that director is.
Oh,
But they do like 4 things together. All right. Okay. Yeah. There wasn't much beyond what we thought.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's like,
Movies used to be really simple.
right?
That's what I'm learning. Cool, man. Yeah. You had a really good little review of it. I mean, there wasn't much more to it.
I think my last impression or takeaway before we actually go
I have one
and see
too.
the movie is that this is definitely before internet dating was as socially acceptable. Like, it's not even a thing now.
Yeah.
Like, that's you go on the apps, as the kids say. You go on the apps to meet people, right?
This is absolutely a commercial for You've Got Mail on America Online, though. Like, that was like screenshotting the actual like. Is that like basically like the intern? Remember Interns? Or was it Interns or the Intern? There was 2 movies. But one was like a Google movie with like Vince Vaughn and
and Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Sure.
the companies have been in movies all the time. It's kind of funny seeing it now, like how transparent it is. Like looking back at it.
Right. I wonder. We should also look up for our review episode if they actually had like a spike in sales.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
And
great.
a bunch of people went on and signed up for American Online after
You've Got Mail.
Watching You've Got Mail.
Cool. Yeah. Any parting words? I think.
Yeah. So last time, some of you pointed out that okay, cool, you guys get to watch the movie. How do we get to watch the movie? So we remembered. Let's hook you guys up with a couple ways to watch. I'm looking it up right now. It looks like it's available on YouTube to rent. It's also available on Google Play, Vudu. I think it's available on iTunes for Apple devices, not available on Android devices. So if you have Android, unfortunately, you cannot watch on iTunes.
Raise your game if you're not on.
Not all of us make DC dog boner money. We can't afford this. This guy literally just got a new phone as he got here. It's
Cut
like,
7
this
ways.
brand new.
Cut 7 ways.
All right, guys. All right, I think that's it. We'll see you guys next time when we do the review episode.
Bye, guys.